Hello, 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 everybody. We are back again on another beautiful Monday. I just thank God for these beautiful Mondays. But we're back again for another beautiful Monday. I know that the weather has been pretty good. It's been holding up. It hasn't been too bad. I mean, today seems really, really nice. But I like to thank you all for coming today, and I'm always glad to see you. Always glad that you're here. First of all, I like to give the time to our sponsors. And our sponsors for today's program is First Friday's Travel, where you can go to get your travel insurance. And those of you that say you don't need travel insurance, let me express a couple of times I've seen travel insurance necessary a few years ago. My husband and I had planned a trip. We were going with a group, and the group was going to Alaska. And one lady from the trip, she said, I don't want travel insurance. She didn't even hesitate. She was just telling me, I don't want travel insurance. And I didn't even hesitate to tell her, then I can't book your trip. I can't book your trip without it because Alaska is not a cheap trip. It's pretty reasonable. It's reasonable, but it's still in the range where if you don't go, you would like to get your money back. So we went back and forth with that situation, and then finally she realized I meant it. The night of the trip, the night, here it is. We're still up packing. We're leaving at 5 o'clock that morning. She calls me from the hospital and she goes, Mary, I can't go. The same lady that said she didn't want the travel insurance. And I actually said this. I said, this is a joke, right? I didn't believe her. And the reason I didn't believe her because I said, wait a minute, aren't you the same person that didn't want the travel insurance? So true story though, she was in the emergency room and she could not go on the trip. She did not go on that cruise. Did not go. But because we had travel insurance on her, she received every penny back. Every penny. She didn't lose anything. She was truly in the hospital. She had some of you may have heard a slipped disc in her back. She was in excruciating pain. That's why I thought she was joking, because she was literally crying. She was on the phone crying, and I hate to even admit this, but I was making fun of her because I couldn't believe this was really happening with somebody. So I would highly encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, you definitely want to have travel insurance. If you are going, I don't even, it could be on any trip. It doesn't have to necessarily be one. It can be a cruise. It can be just if you're flying across country, flying internationally, wherever you're going, you could be driving, still have travel insurance. Travel insurance is just a good protection. This is what I would say when it comes to insurance is you have it and you hope you never need it. That's what I would encourage you. You have it and you hope you never have to use it. So I would tell you that. And that's one of our sponsors today, which is First Friday's. First Friday's Travel. I said it right. First Friday's Travel. So make sure you go there for your travel insurance needs. You just click the button. It'll tell you when it says travel insurance, how much you need and all that fun stuff. So that's one of our sponsors. The other sponsor for today's show is First Book Academy. Many of you have expressed that you would like to write that first book. I'm going to tell you that first book has got to be the hardest book in the world to write. But the truth of the matter is, you've probably already written the book in your head. I bet many of you have. You've already written the book. You just have to put it out on paper. But in your mind, the book is, what you want to write. But you just, what do most people tell me? I don't have the time. I hear that all day long. I don't have the time. And I just sit back and go, okay, nobody, if I be honest, I would tell you, I really don't have the time either. I really don't. But some kind of way, I make the time to write these things down. Hi, I see Richard. Hi, Richard. It's always happy to see you, Richard. Always happy to see you. I know many of you, some comments are, where was the banner and everything else? I know. What can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? This was just one. It didn't make it out. I received everything just a little bit. I just wasn't on time for me to get the banner out. But I can tell you what, it will be out going forth because we have guests all the way through to October. We have all the way through October. But our guest, and he may make it in today, but I have a feeling something may have come up because I've been trying to reach him and I haven't been able to reach the guest this due today. So, and as the saying goes, the show must go on. So I just wanted to go over that. The last sponsor for today's program is the first annual book fair that's going to be held on October 2nd, and it'll be at Crossword Christian Church here in Moreno Valley, and it's from 10 a.m. to 2. If you are interested, if you're an author and you would like to get an author's table, you can email me now and let me know what genre your book is in. There's nothing it's not any adult books. Everything is for anyone, you could say, from pre-K to high school. That's the only ones that we'll do. Oh, you will call them? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I did call too, though. So I haven't been able to reach him, but that's okay. That is okay. These things happen. You know what I've learned? That you roll with the punches, ladies and gentlemen. I know, if you know what I'm talking about. You roll with those punches. But one thing I did almost forget to add too. This is very sad. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. On the travel insurance side, my husband and I were on a trip. We were in Brazil. We were in Brazil about 3 years ago, I think now. At least 2 for sure. Oh. And unfortunately, this is very unfortunate. One of the people on the trip, they passed away. They passed away on the trip. Let me tell you why travel insurance is so, so important. If they had travel insurance, which I don't believe they did, it would have been very easy to have the gentleman's body come back to the United States. From my understanding, it cost $10,000 to get the body returned to the United States. With travel insurance, it would have cost them nothing, literally nothing or close to nothing. But I'm going to show this. Hi, Gwen. How you doing? I'm always looking for you. You know that. So I would tell you, and I had to backtrack with that because sometimes we think we can afford it, but sometimes that's the very thing we should be affording. And just make that part of when you book your ticket, you book that travel insurance right along with it. And that makes such a big difference if you have a situation that happens. And situations happen. We were in Punta Cana, and I didn't get my luggage for, what was it, 3 days or something like that? And they gave me the funds to go out and get clothes because I don't know where my luggage was for 3 days. I still don't know. So, but I'm saying, but travel insurance, see how that works? So I would encourage you, if you're doing any traveling, and go to First Fridays Travel, make that your play. Tell your friends and family, travel insurance, go to First Fridays Travel and get your travel insurance. Ta-da! Okay. Now I'm going to get into today's. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to share with you some things that many of you know that I'm a writer. And it's really interesting. I think I'm just now starting to realize, yeah, you're a writer. I think you're right. You're writing. But I want to share with you about the books. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, Richard. Okay, Richard, let him know it's in his email. I sent an email to him. That's where it is. It's in the email. Okay, I got it. So I went to go with them. I've had people ask me, well, how did you get there? I will tell you this. Many of you have seen, this is the very first book this is not the first book I wrote, by the way. This is the first book I published. And it's called There's a Rocket in My Pocket. So you can see the cover of that. And everything I'm going to show you is all on Amazon. They're all on Amazon. But I wanted to show this to you because sometimes you may have an idea and you just haven't expressed it. You just have not expressed it. So I would encourage you. I'm doing 2 things at once. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So I emailed it. Or I should say in the email. Okay, Richard. I know you're right there. That's one. Okay, it's in the email. There we go. So I want to show this to you because if you have an idea, ladies and gentlemen, you have everything you need. The one thing you need first of all, is the idea. That's it. If you have to have the idea, you got to, have, and these are, there's a rocket in my pocket. I'm definitely a rhyming person. I have come to terms with that. I like it when things rhyme. So that's how this book came about. And it came about just, I actually started with the title, which I do almost most often, is the title since I start there. I started with There's a Rocket in My Pocket. So then I came up with, we're the parents of four boys and one girl. So because it's predominantly boys, that's why you see a boy on the cover. That's, we have more boys than girls, but still. But there's a girl in the book. That's his sister. But I say this because wherever you are in this process, start somewhere. Start somewhere. As I said before, this is not the first book. It's not the first book I wrote. This was the shortest book that I wrote. That's what made me go on and publish it, because it was very, very short. It's not long. Let me tell you, how many pages is it? I'll show you. I can show you. 20. It says 22, but this is how it looks, just so you know what the inside looks like. Ta-da, ta-da, just so you guys can see it like that. There, and it shows him and his dog and stuff like that. And it's very easy reading for a child. The goal, and honestly, many of you know my background is education, is that a child can pick it up and it's colorful and it's interesting and they would like it. That's what I. Now the second book, this is really interesting. The second book that I published is this one, Saying No Nicely. Not in the children's arena. This one is based on, truthfully, is based on me. I learned how to say no nicely. And when I did, I put it in a book. I put it in a book. This one is now, it's on, well, everything I showed you is on it. It's going to be on Amazon. But I will read this to you. This is the introduction for Saying No Nicely. Okay. And its introduction says, do you often find yourself exhausted from running around and doing things for everyone else? Do you often wonder why you don't have time for the things you really want to do? Do you ever wish you could say no but can't? This book is written for yes people. If you're someone who doesn't know how to say no, keep reading. I was the person who needed to read a book like this because I didn't know how to say no. I was fearful that if I said no, people would not like me or love me anymore. I said yes when I wanted to say no, but I couldn't find the words. And even if I could, I didn't know how. I could have saved myself so much grief if I only knew how to say no. Recently, I was speaking to a family member, and she said that she also suffers from the same syndrome of saying yes when she wanted to say no. As I shared my story in this book I did with her, she enthusiastically said, "I'll be the first one to buy your book. I need a book like that." Well, here it is, and I hope that you take a few tips from the chapters and change your life by giving yourself a precious gift of time to do the things that are important to you and your family. Let's be honest, somewhere deep down inside yourself, you may like the attention from family, friends, and coworkers, etc. We like being in control. For example, planning all the meetings, the trips, and parties. Why is this so important? Well, if anyone has ever said to you, you might want to say no to a few things, this book was written for you. What can happen for so many people is that they do not realize that they have become a person that cannot say no. A close friend once told me, "Do you ever know how to say the word no?" I told her that of course I know how to say no, but I just wasn't using the word. I preferred to say yes to almost everything. What that conversation did was provide me with the reality check. I looked at myself and discovered that I almost never said no to anything. Deciding what we want to say yes to and what we need to say no to is an important skill. If you don't learn to say no to what is not important to us, we become everything we don't want to be. Overwhelmed, overworked, irritable, stressed, running on empty, impatient, and abrupt. We also have no time for the things we want to do or for the people who really we want to spend time with. Saying no can be associated with the fear of hurting others' feelings and with the feelings of guilt. There may be a fear that when you ask the same person for a favor, they may say no to you. Saying no is a complete sentence and does not make you a bad person, and neither does saying yes make you a good person either. That's the introduction for Say No Nicely. It has, how many chapters it has? Because I use a quote in here from Ava DuVernay, which says, remember, you're not asking for permission to say no. That's an Ava DuVernay quote. There are many chapters in here. There's actually 7 chapters and a conclusion, and you have about the author. So there's truly 7. But let me tell you what they are. Saying no nicely to family and friends, saying no nicely to your significant other, saying no nicely to your boss and coworkers, saying no nicely to social functions, saying no nicely to yourself, say in the art of manipulation. That's another one, another chapter, the art of manipulation. I talk about that. Separating refusal from rejection. All of these things we do, ladies and gentlemen. And then the conclusion. Now, what I just read to you was the introduction. But this book is definitely, definitely close to my heart, without a doubt. It is because I use, like I said before, these are things I've used. So everything you're reading in this book, I came from me, came to things I've been using. Right now, with the last I looked, I haven't looked today, it was 14 5-stars on Amazon. So people are using the techniques in here, and I'm glad to see that. One lady, let me tell you what happened. While I was writing, I had the manuscript going out to friends, and I wanted their feedback. And one of my friends took the manuscript, she read it, and then she went to work the next day. And she said, Mary, she called me, I can't remember, she was, wherever she was whispering. That's what I remember, because she was on the phone whispering. And I said, what's the matter? Is everything okay? And she said, Mary, it works. I said, what works? Because I didn't even know what she was talking about. She said, the information in your book works. She told me her boss was walking toward her. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen, with work in her hands. It was not her work. But because her boss knew who she was and that she would get the work done, she was getting ready to give her this work. She remembered what I said in the book about saying no to your boss. She said she used it, and the boss turned around to her and said, thank you. She said she couldn't hardly believe it. The boss said, thank you, I appreciate you, and turned and gave the work to somebody else. Can you believe that? That is phenomenal. And thanked her. Because remember, you have to remember too, ladies and gentlemen, like it or not, we all want to get along with our bosses. We all want to get along. I don't know a person on planet Earth that wants to have an adversarial relationship with their boss. Because the boss is in a position, it's like a parent position. And the reason I know, I've been in those positions, people come to you with their family problems, their relationship problems, you name the problem, their financial problems. They come to you because you're in that parental role as a supervisor. And when you can stay in good graces with that person and still not have to do other people's work or work that is not your work, that's big. Like I said, I've been there. So when she called and she was just, I couldn't believe it. I was listening to her and she said, I can't believe that what just happened. What just happened? I used what's in the book, because I give you, inside of the book, I give you scripts to use. I tell you the ones I've used and the ones that have worked for me. So it's not like I'm telling you something that I don't know about. I'm telling you something I do know about. So that's why I stress to you that this is really, really important, that you take the time and those of you there, if you're not a yes person, it wouldn't apply to you. But if you are a yes person and you like to know how to do this, then how to say no nicely, then it may apply to you. You may be one of those people that you need to learn how to say no nicely to. So just keep that in mind. You are, if you're overwhelmed, if you feel like, there's not enough hours in the day, let me give you a good example. If you're doing things that they're not necessarily for you, but for others, because you didn't know how to say no to it. Because, like I said, I even teach you how to say no to family and friends. Think about how big that is. Family and friends. Oh my goodness. And you do it in such a way that it is so kind. Because that's why I say, maybe I should say how to say no kindly, but I say nicely. Because what you do when you learn how to do this is you're setting boundaries. You're setting boundaries, ladies and gentlemen. You want to be able to set boundaries. Uh-oh, I see our guest here. Hold on. I'm talking and see it in the text message at the same time. Oh, okay. Oh, I sent it there. Okay. Okay, I'm still online here. I probably need I have like two things going on at the same time. So this is what I'm gonna do. I guess I'm gonna be talking. You guys will probably see me. I'll be talking. You guys can see me, but I'm gonna be sending him the link for the show because that's what he's saying. He doesn't have the link for the show, so I need to go back. So I'll be on talking, but let me. And you'll see me though. I'm pretty sure I don't. Yeah, I think you guys can still see me. Okay. So on the saying no nicely, what I want to encourage you to do. Many of you may say, well, this is what another friend told me. She said, why would you write a book about that? People know how to say no. That was actually told to me. And that was told to me that nobody would buy the book. That was told to me too. And I thank goodness I didn't believe that person. But I would tell you, because this is what it was said to me. Everybody knows how to say no. And I said, no, they don't. No, they don't. And she goes, well, how do you know? I said, because I am one of those people. And I felt very strongly if I'm one of those people, then there must be other people that are one of those people. So that's how I knew that saying no nicely was something that people may want to take a look at. Because if I'm struggling with it, usually you're not the only one struggling with these kind of things. So I'm trying to go back here and talk, and I'm doing, like I said, not 10 things at once, but 2 things at once. Because I want to make sure that our guest gets on the show. I'm trying to find his link, and I'm thinking, I know I just sent it, but I'm trying to see where is it. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, if you're not one of those people and you can say no nicely, and that's not a problem, you may know someone who's struggling with it. Some people have told me they can do it, but their mother doesn't know how to do it well, or she hasn't been able to do it, as well as they would like. Or some people, let me tell you what some people do too. They say it, but they hurt people's feelings. That's another thing I have found. If you're one of the people, you want to say it, but you are hurting people's feelings. That's just as bad, truthfully, in my opinion, because you don't want to hurt people's feelings. You want to be able to say it truthfully, and you want to be able to do it correctly, but you don't want to hurt people's feelings in the process. I'm sure you don't. So that's why it's so important that you say it in a way that doesn't hurt people's feelings. Let me say that. You want to be able, that's why I say nicely. I could have just said saying no. I didn't want to do that. I want to make sure I'm really clear that you want to say no nicely to people. And the reason I say that, have you heard somebody say no and they said it very ugly and you're like, well, you didn't have to do all that. I've heard people say no to the point people were turned off by it. I'm just doing 2 things at once, ladies and gentlemen, so please be patient with me. But they said it ugly. You know how people get no an ugly way, and you make people feel bad and all those kind of things. No, you don't have to go there. You can say no without doing all that. Let me do this, and I'm going to send it now. Here we go. So that's why I'm stressing this for that book. Now, of the books, that's the one I have to let them know that it's for adults. I have a couple other books coming out too. Let me just tell you that now. For a couple of them, so you know what they are. So let me just first, before I get into that, let me go back and tell you about this. Before I get into the other books. Oh, I'm sorry. I see you guys come. Woo! I said I missed the. Okay, there we go. We have Elaine said you made it on busy day for me. Oh, thank you. Hi, Elaine. And Willie Salters. Hi, Willie. Willie's all the way from Atlanta. Hot Atlanta. We're glad you made it on, Willie. He says, keep, oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you're getting the emails. Willie, I have some information coming out in the next couple of weeks on these emails. I hope you're getting the emails. If you're not getting the emails, just send me text me your email and I'll send you, and I'll make sure you get on the email system. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your comments, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. So, if just to go over to recap, saying no nicely is a skill. Is a skill. This is a skill. And I stress this because, what can I say? You say no, let me say, this is in the book, by the way. You say no too many times, and guess whose name comes off the guest list? Yours. I'm telling you, that's why this is important. You can't just run around saying no, 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 because I'm telling you what's going to happen is you're not going to get invited to anything else. That's why this is important. I teach you how to do it nicely. So you do continue to get those invitations to go to lunch or go to dinner or go to a party or go to whatever it is. You say, and I tell people in the book, I stress, do not run around saying no to everything. Because if you do, you're not going to get invited to anything else. I'm telling you what I know. I'm going to use these stories because these are told to me. One young lady, and I don't use names. If you notice, I just use situations because I don't think it's right to use people's names. But because this can be anybody, to tell you the truth. But she actually told me this. She was at work, and a group of ladies would walk by her desk and go to lunch and would not invite her. Now, may not think that would bother you. That will bother you. It's going to bother anybody. At least this is how we feel. You don't have to like me, but at least acknowledge me and invite me. That's really what it is. But the bottom line is they would go to lunch and they come back from lunch. You know how women are, how we giggling and all that kind of stuff. And so she started feeling bad. And when I told her I was writing this book, she talked to me about it. And I told her how to get back in their good graces. Because I asked her first, what do you want? And she said, I don't like this feeling of being rejected. I said, okay, I can tell you how do you rectify this? This is how you rectify it. I told her, you go to them. She couldn't believe I said that. I said, you go to them and you let them know that you're available. What is your availability? You can't go every day. Let's just be honest. You can't go every day. She's busy. She got, she has a life. She said, but the next time you guys go out, I said, ask them, let them know you're available on Wednesdays and you would like to go to lunch with them if they would have you. Put it like that. Now, who's going to say no to that? Oh, okay. I see that. Okay. Who's going to say no to that? They're going to say yes to that. They did. This is what happened. She told me what happened too. She said, I think it was the next day she went to him. Because she went to, let me say this. There's always a leader in a group. Always. You guys have to know that. I don't care if it's a family. I don't care if it's a friend group. I don't care if it's a worker group, a co-worker. I don't care what it is. There's always a leader. She went to the leader, which I told her, go to the leader. You don't go to the other people. You go to the leader. You're putting it to the leader. And you do it quietly and you do it respectfully. And the leader said, and the first thing leader said, oh, sure. We'd love to have you. And I think it was the next day they all went, because the next day was that Wednesday, I think it was. After there was Tuesday, she mentioned it, and the next day was Wednesday. And she said, sure, come on. We'd like for you to go to lunch with them. And she ended up going to lunch with them every Wednesday now. Because at lunch, ladies and gentlemen, lunch, I don't have to tell you, going to lunch, people have received jobs, people have lost jobs from conversations at lunchtime, conversations that are being had all the time. Oh, Elaine? Okay, I'm saying your message. Let me see. I'm going to have to bring it a little closer to me so I can read. Oh, maybe I don't. Okay. I used to feel guilty when I said no to others asking me to do something until I learned that I couldn't do everything or be everywhere. Tell it, Elaine. I'd have those feelings. I say yes. Then God says, when God says yes. That's it, Elaine. That's the key. You can't do everything. You can't be everything to everybody. That when I just had a conversation earlier, and somebody said, "Well, Mary, with the emails you send out, you must be exhausted." I said, "Nope." I said, "I can't attend everything I send out. I'm sending it out to the person. I have no idea who that person is that needs the information. I cannot, even if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to do all that. Can't do it. I have I have a life, so I'm letting people know the best I can what's going on out here in this world. So I'm still here though. So you guys know I'm still here. I haven't gone anywhere. So I would tell you, ladies and gentlemen, on the saying no nicely, it is. I mean, what can I say? It is probably one of the biggest things. I think, truthfully, if you learn how to do this, you will save yourself so much grief and headache. How many times have you heard a person say, I've heard this before, truth, when someone didn't do something. Let's say you said yes when you should have said no, and you didn't do something, and then the person says to you, why didn't you just say no? Have you heard people? I've heard them say it. Why didn't you just say no? And I thought, wow. And at the same time, what they were really saying, you could have saved us so much grief and time if you had just said no from the beginning. Then we would have went on to somebody else. And believe it or not, that's in the book too. I have that in here too. You save yourself a lot of headache. You save everybody else a lot of headaches if sometimes you just say no. Because once you say yes, you've committed. You're committed to doing whatever that something is, whatever that is. So you don't really, you put yourself in this. You put yourself under the pressure, under the stress. And I had to learn this too. All of these things I'm sharing with you, I had to learn. And now I try, and don't get me wrong, I haven't figured it all out, but I have tried to reduce my stress because, life, we can't, I put you guys, sorry about that. He's coming on though. I had to learn, there's only so many hours in a day. There's only so many hours in a day. So how can I make the best use of that time? That's what every single day I learn something. I try to apply it, and it's not easy. I will tell you, it is not easy. So, but this book is packed. I'm telling you, it's what they say is small but mighty. For those of you that are interested, you can get it in the digital form. You can get a Kindle in the Kindle, or you can get it in paperback form. Either one, but it's small but mighty. I'm telling you, if you are someone that doesn't know how to say no nicely, or someone who doesn't know how to say no nicely, take a look. Take a look. And I see Richard. I don't know if you saw me. I sent the email. I'm talking to Richard right now. Hi, Richard. I did send the email to you. Now, I'm gonna go over the next one with you, ladies and gentlemen. This is some of you have seen this one. Have you seen the red elephant? Did I do this one next? I think this one next children's book, because I only have the 2 children's books up right now. I have a third one coming out called Stuck in the Elevator. True story, by the way. Oliver and I were stuck in the elevator in Brazil, and I wrote a children's book about it. It is my first black and white book, which I never write black and white books. In fact, tell you what I just happen to have here. I can show you. I can't show you the cover, but I can show you what stuck in. I just have the mock-ups. Do I have the cover? No, I don't think I have a cover. Well, I can show you a mock-up of Stuck in the Elevator. This is what it looks like. These are called mock-ups, meaning that this is what page is this? Oh, we haven't done page numbers yet. But this is and I've done black and white. I never do black and white. I always do bright colors, but I even told the artist, I said, I don't know why this book speaks to me as a black and white book. Maybe because we're all in the elevator. People did begin to panic, by the way. They'll probably never admit that, but they started getting a little antsy. But you know what? I think it was normal considering we're in there. It was 9 people. True story. Remember, I said this is not a joke. We were all in there. 9 people on the 30. On floor 33. 9 people stuck in the elevator. And one of the people in the said, "Call 911." And I remember I turned to the man in the elevator. I said, "We are in Brazil," because it was all Americans in the elevator, and everybody got quiet. I said, because I was thinking, why would there be a 911 in Brazil? Which is true, there is no 911 in Brazil. So the minute people realized there is, number one, we didn't have any reception with our cell phones anyway. That was number one. Number two, there was no 911 there anyway. That's the second thing. So we were stuck in the elevator, and see, I was stuck in the elevator one day, and here's what happened. Here's what happened to me. I was in the elevator with 9 people on floor number 33. That's how it starts. So you guys get to see. You're actually other than my husband, you're the first ones to see. This is a mock-up. So this is what the book is will be like, or soon be like, whatever. But it's coming. So this is stuck in the elevator. So me and the illustrator, we work literally hand in hand, because her job is to bring my words to life in the way that feels good to me, and I think she's doing an excellent job. And so the book is primarily all black and white, except for the last page. I changed the color on the last page, but the rest of the book is black and white. So you guys get to see what's coming down the pike. And then the other one is, let me think. There's the other one, is Justin Lost a Tooth. That's the other children's book that's coming out, Justin Lost a Tooth. So you guys are kind of like, you getting some stuff coming that nobody else. I haven't even shared it other than my family. Now you guys you're right on top of things. So somebody asked me how did I get the title for Have You Seen a Red Elephant? All I would tell you, my titles come from everywhere. There is no one place. There is no one. They come from, I could be just thinking about something. I can hear something on the radio. I can see something on TV. And it's really interesting. They may have nothing to do with this, but it'll inspire me to come up with it. And the first thing I always do, okay, got it. No problem. But what I always do, ladies and gentlemen, this is your tip for today. I write it down. Do not, I'm saying this honestly, if you say, I'm going to remember, I don't know about your memory, I'm going to speak for mine. It's not going to happen. Stuck in the elevator, the day it happened, in fact, we had just got out of the elevator, and Oliver and I are back in the hotel room, and that's when it hit me. This is a children's book. And my husband looking at me like, okay. But I wrote that book, ladies and gentlemen, right then and there. I didn't wait and say, I'll write it later. No. Number one, I was still emotionally attached to the story. So that even made it even better. I just got out the elevator, not even maybe 15, 20 minutes earlier. So it was still, that's why these words are so interesting, because it was still in me. But I sat down, I wrote it down. That's what I'll tell you. So I would encourage you, if you have any kind of story, it doesn't have to be children's. Mine just happens with the ones you guys see are children's books. That's what you see more. You see more children's books than anything. Those are the two I showed you. But let me just say this too, because even in this one, I honestly cannot tell you where I have you seen a red elephant. I think when I remember writing this, I said to myself, have you seen a red elephant? That's how I got started. Have you seen a red elephant? I thought, nobody's seen a red elephant. And that's how I wrote the book, Have You Seen a Red Elephant? Based on the fact that nobody has seen a red elephant. Isn't that interesting? And in the back, this is how it shows in the back, and that's the elephant. And this is the publishing company inside of the moon. It's like, but all of those little things, me and the graphic artist, we literally work hand in hand for this to happen. Now, I'm going to this because this is where I think some people to get started. I'm going to say this to you because some of you, I get comments like this. Where do I get started? How do I get started? I get that a lot. You can start here with a journal. This is called the Big Black Journal, all on Amazon. Or you can start. This is another. This is the brand, the Big Black Journal, and this is one for. So this is a generic one, pretty much. This was the very first one that came out. Is this one? But I think it's like at least 10 of these. There's one for moms. There's one for women. There's one for doctors. And this one. These are the two most popular, but I have other ones too. But why would you want one of these? Let me tell you why. You want one of these because now you have a home for your stories, for your poetry, for your thoughts. Ladies, gentlemen, do you know that Oprah Winfrey still has a journal? Oprah, think about who we talk about here. Oprah Winfrey still has her journals from when she was a teenager. She's been journaling since she was a teenager. Just let that sink in. Think about this. This lady's been writing her entire life. And look where she is. I would venture to say, there is not many places we can go on this planet that they haven't heard Oprah Winfrey. Think about that. On the planet, not in the United States. Because I've been in other countries and her show was playing in other countries. So I know that she is world renowned. World renowned. And one place she started, she started as journaling, writing her thoughts down, writing her desires down, writing how she wanted her life to be. And her life, as we all know, it did not start out pretty. Now I'm pretty sure it's very few things she could even probably want for. I can't think of anything, but still, the point is, she journals. She writes down her day. She writes down her feelings. She doesn't just leave it to chance. She writes down her goals, her dreams. She writes them down. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen, because I can almost guarantee many people don't. So this is something everybody can do. It's not something just one or two people can do. All of us can do this. And look, as I said, I give you room. You can write. And this is the Big Black Journal. All of them have the same inside, by the way. And you can, to your heart's content. I think it's over 200 pages. Let me see. I can't remember now off the top of my head exactly. I even have some blank pages in the back. Oh, they're not numbered. I'm sorry. I think it's 200. But it gives you a home, gives your work a home, gives your ideas a home. Because I did not know I was a writer for years. Think about years. I'm not talking about one or two. I have found envelopes where I've been writing poetry. I was reading in my Bible one day, went in the back and pulled out some of the bulletins. I had short stories there. I was like, I didn't even know they were there because I had not given my work a home. Give your writings a home. I'm telling you what works for me, and I can tell you. Oh, okay. I'm not. I want to miss anything. Okay, I sent it over, Richard. Okay, I got the message. Okay, I'm just reading. I'm going. Okay. So I say it. You can use this one. There's other ones up there. If you go to Amazon, you see. As I said before, there's one for your grandfathers, your grandmothers. This is the one that most people have because this is a generic one. This is the one, it just says the Big Black Journal, period. But the brand is the Big Black Journal. That is the brand. I created my own brand, the Big Black Journal brand. So I would encourage you, give your writings a home. And I would encourage you, if you're not a writer, I've heard people say, oh, I don't write. Well, let me tell you the story about that. You know me and my stories. Some of you may know, one of my very best friends is Jean Denny. Now, Jean Denny's a writer. The day I met her, she told me she was a writer. And I remember telling her, I was just so at awe to that. I was like, You're the first person I've ever met that ever said they were a writer in my life. I don't think I met anybody that ever said that. And that's what they did for a living. And she said, yes, I've been writing. She had been writing. She's been writing since she was a teenager also. So I'm just listening to her and everything. And she would write her books. We would, wherever she went for book signings, I was there. I would carry the books in, help her with the book signing, everything. And all the while, this went on for over 20 years, by the way. She would always tell me, Mary, you're a writer. And I said, oh no, Jean, that's what you do. I'm good. I was like, I didn't even hesitate. Nope, that's you. Years this went on. When I wrote the first book, the first Stuck in the Elevator book, she literally was in tears. She she couldn't believe it. She said, I'm so glad you found out before before you died, basically, but that you found out you could write. And I said, you know what? I just always deferred to you. You were the writer. I just never ever considered it. And then now I can say I write all the time, but I never considered myself to be a writer. And I'm gonna tell you, I just said I was a writer Saturday night. My husband and I went to see the Jeffrey Osborne concert, and we were outside taking pictures and everything. And this couple, and the gentleman said, what do you do? And I said, I'm a writer. I had never said it out loud. I had never, I don't know why, but for the first time I owned it. And I felt like, well, that's what you are. You just, not that I'm not a retired teacher, because I am, but it is okay to own the fact that you're a writer. And it's okay to write. I just think there was something other people did. I don't know why, but just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, you can be a writer too. If it's in your heart to do, or let me think, let me just say in your heart to do, you can start out just writing journals. Just write. How do you feel about your day? And this is what I encourage people. Don't make it big. Don't make it something that, oh no, I don't want to. Oh, thank you, Shelly. Hi, Shelly. How you doing? So don't make it something this big, gigantic thing, because you know why? When we make it big, gigantic, we don't do it. I'm gonna tell you now, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know my secret? Okay, now I'm gonna tell you guys this. And then now I said, now the secret's gonna be out, but I'm gonna tell you guys, because me and you are like that. I can tell you secrets. The secret to writing, I don't know if I can tell you guys. Okay, I'm gonna tell it to you. Write. That's it. Doesn't that sound crazy? It sounds so. It's like she must be joking. Nope, I'm not joking. It's right. There is no secret. There is no secret to it. Anybody, as long as you can read and write, you can write. Many of my books rhyme, but I have a book I'm working on right now. This is for one of the grandkids. It doesn't rhyme. It just tells a story. It does not rhyme. The book I was telling you about, the ones that are coming out, Stuck in the Elevator has a rhyming tendency, but and now that I think about it, Justin Lost a Tooth has a rhyming, but all of my books do not rhyme. They don't. And that's why I tell you the key to writing is write. That's why I encourage you, ladies, gentlemen, you can use this. That would be nice. you, you use the Big Black Journal to get you going. And there, as I remember telling, I think I shared with you, I have people that are using this and they're asking, and their families, and they're passing it around for recipes. And they're putting their family recipes in here. Isn't that interesting? I have another family, they're using it for the genealogy of the family, because they're writing their names. Because remember, it used to be the family Bible. It used to be the family. That was the big deal. I don't know if you guys felt, yeah, in our house, it was the family Bible. All the births, the deaths, and it was the big place we put everything. But now people have kind of not backed away. They may not be as or can't, or this is what I've heard. People move and they can't find that Bible. That's what I've heard. So if you have it, that's fine. But if you don't, and you want to start another family heirloom, You can put, that's another thing people are doing. They're putting the genealogy for the family in the Big Black Journal. I have people doing some of everything, and which I appreciate. I appreciate people when they tell me what they're doing with it. That tells me they're using it. They're using it. So don't feel like you can't use this. That you can't. You do whatever it is that you want to do. Whatever feels right for you, do that. Or the one for sis, either one. They all have the same exact page count. So it's just different covers on it. But what applies to you? And there's one. I think there's one for teachers. So I just got carried away, basically. But I still want to make sure that they were out there for you. So don't feel like, because I remember I said that think about this, 20 years. I said, no, I don't write. And I didn't. But the one day I wrote, and many of you know, the book that you see published, that's, as I said before, that's not my first book. That's the first book I published. The very first book I wrote is called The Cake Shook. Haven't even published it yet. The Cake Shook is the name of that book. And that book will be, I haven't even gone back to start working on it. The only thing I have to do on that book is the ending. The book is written, it's just the ending. But that one will be coming out. So just look for them. If you're on the email list, if you're not on the email list, let me tell you how to get on the email list. You go to marydwelch.com and it says join our email list. That's it. That's very simple. marydwelch.com and join the email list and you'll start getting emails. Now, if you want to get the text messages, and many of you like getting the text messages, then you text. You text show and you text it to the short code 474747. And you text that, and now you'll be in the texting system, and now you'll get the text messages. As you know, today we just had a little thing happen, but honestly, I think this is kind of good because I get comments of people asking, how do you write these books? How do you get this done? How you do? I get those kind of comments. Or I have one gentleman, he's written 8 books. Think about this. He has written 8 books. Not one of them is published. And let me touch on that. If you've already written a book, you want to publish it. And I took a deep breath because I hear that. And this is what I think. So I was speaking to one of our grandchildren, and she's written a book. And she said, Nana, I don't want to publish the book because I don't want somebody to say something bad about my book. And I said, sweetheart, people say bad things about my books. and she's like, they do? I said, yes. I said, but guess what? I keep writing my books. Everybody's not going to like what you say, what you do. It's virtually impossible to get 100% of anything. So just know that. And but remember, she's 14. I'm a little older than that. So I've gotten a little tougher skin than she does. Right now, she's, concerned and worried and all those things, which I am not. But it took me years to get here. And it didn't happen overnight. So I know where she is. And that's another reason I'm very patient. I understand that. I would encourage you, ladies, gentlemen, if you have any desire, I'm pretty ladies, but thank you guys. Any desire, let me say, I don't know how to stress this, because remember, when you write, you're leaving a legacy. These books, as long as Amazon is this, as long as Amazon's there, this book will be up there. As long as Amazon going on, and I think Jeff Bezos is not planning on going anywhere. The books will be there. This book. And let me tell you how many pages this is. So those of you I'm honestly, truthfully, 42 pages. 42 pages. So, and I'm saying this because probably 40 minutes, you can be done. But I promise you, what you learn in here, you'll be like, wow, I didn't know that. This is Red Elephant. This is, let me see how many, I'll tell you how many pages Red Elephant is. It is 24 pages, I think. Did I say it right? No, I'm wrong. I don't want to show you the end, but it's 26 pages. I don't want to take away the end of the story. It's 26 pages, but I will show you what it looks like. This is what the writing looks like in Red Elephant. This is made for a little child. They could, before they're done, Red Elephant, they'll be reading it right along with you. I know because I've seen the kids do it. So that's what. And before you, they if they don't look at the easy words, try to cook. It's come on now. They feel so accomplished when they keep saying red. When they go to, they know they turn the story, open the book. Have you seen a red elephant? Like the first one, I'll tell you just so you guys know what it says. And this one actually is dedicated to my husband. Yes, this is his book. The very first ones, have you seen a red elephant take a bath? And then here's a red elephant take a bath. Now, I know you haven't seen a red elephant take a bath, but for a child, their imagination goes right there. They love it. So keep that in mind as you're coming up with your ideas. Okay. And even the big one, this one is just now going to be put in paperback. It's in just digital before. I think this had 21. So I haven't looked lately, so don't quote me on any of this 5 stars. But I don't want to I showed you guys some try to find, but look at the words. This says, I'm going for a ride and leaving real soon. But the goal is big words or small words where a child could read them. Or by the time they've gone through the book a couple of times, and I'm sure you guys have experience with the small kids, even if they're not reading, they have memorized it. So they think they're reading, even if they memorize the words. And I'm saying this, I believe it or not, see, you guys got me talking today. I only have 4 minutes left. Can you believe that? That's how fast. But you know what it is when I'm talking about something I love. I love it. I love it. I tell you, my family, their support, my family and friends, I'm going to tell you right now. And you know, our friends are family. We call them friends, but they're really family. They have been so supportive of all of this. And it touches my heart. It touches my heart. So, ladies, gentlemen, if you are interested and you would like to learn how to do this, I'm actually going to be opening up another free workshop. I know, a free one. You can all come. Anybody can come. I haven't decided what date. Because it'll be, if you text or email, then you'll get on the list. If you're already on the email list, you're fine because I'll send out a flyer. If you're already on text, don't worry about it. You'll get the flyer. But if you're not and you want to know when I send out, it'll be a free workshop. Totally, you don't have to pay anything. And you'll come and you'll learn. And what you learn is really that you can do this. That's what you're going to learn, ladies and gentlemen. You can do this. I promise you that. If you want to. Now, of course, you have to have a desire, but you can definitely do it. So I want to thank our sponsors again before I let you guys go for this wonderful, wonderful Monday. And thank each and every one of you. And I forgot to thank our replay viewers. Replay viewers, you mean a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for all of you that have liked, comment, and shared on YouTube. I know it makes a difference. It really does. So thank you. Our next person coming next week is, I'm going to say her name wrong. Adiola, I think I said it right. She's an artist. She's going to be our guest next week. The week after that, the lady that's going to be on is vice president at Sonar Entertainment. And the week after that is a lady that is an educator. So we are, for the next, like I said, all the way through to October, we have these wonderful, wonderful special guests coming on, and I can't thank them enough. But we're down to 1 minute or 2 minutes, I should say. Again, our sponsors. For those of you that travel insurance, go to First Fridays Travel. Get your travel insurance there. First Fridays Travel. Best travel deals as far as depending on where you're going. I'm not going to say there. I will tell everybody, compare, but the travel insurance is right there on that first page. First Fridays Travel. Also, and I will stress, if you like to write a book, First Book Academy, you want to go there. And then remember I told you about the book fair that's coming on October 2nd for Inland Empire. And that'll be at Crossword Church between 10 and 2. If you're interested, you can send me an email, Mary at First Book Academy, Mary at First Book Academy, and you can find out everything you need to know about that. All right. Ladies, gentlemen, down to 1 minute. Thank you. Thank you. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for being here today. Oh, audio, uh-huh. Oh, okay. Thank you, Elaine. She's a sorority sister. All right now. All right. Okay now. Well, thank you. She will be here on Monday. God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.